The FBI's raided the home of psychologist and nurse for an alleged hospice fraud scheme, according to CBS. Was arrested for allegedly fraudulently billing Medicare for $7.45 million. A hospice with a survival rate of over 97%. Don't most people in hospices die? What the fuck? That's the point, yeah.
All right, so I'm on the scene of a FBI-led raid of a home owned by a husband and wife, psychologist, and a nurse who the FBI says ran a fraudulent hospice for years, racking up over $7 million in fraudulent
What a piece of shit. Yeah.
I don't know if you can get a sense.
Oh, look at that house. Whoa, hold up. Look at this house. Look at that. This guy's living in a look at that's a giant fucking mansion.
I don't know if you can get a sense, but
oh my god. With a gate?
In a very, very nice part of town.
Yeah.
We're in the city of San Dimas, in a very hilly area. Homes are
millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
Essentially hidden behind
look at that.
This greenery here.
That's crazy.
Exclusive area. You wonder where the money from hospice fraud goes.
Yeah.
Some of it goes to funding a certain lifestyle.
Yep.
See one arrest. FBI has one person, a man in custody. This is the alleged. This is the owner of an alleged fraudulent hospice. This would probably be.
Someone's been a bad boy.
I see further back a woman being escorted as well. I see two people.
Yeah.
I see a few people being escorted, actually. I think I've seen maybe 4. 5?
See, they need to, what they should do is that if they stole, they should just take all their money. Take all the money, take their house, put them in jail. Like, that's what we need to do. Because, like, sometimes these people hold on to their assets. And so the cost, like, basically, it's like you go to prison to get $7 million. And you go there for, like, a year and a half, 2 years. And, like, that's a pretty good deal, really. When you think about it, it's a pretty good deal. $7 million for 1 year of being in jail. Like, I think most people would take that deal. I mean, especially because, like, the jail that they're in isn't, like, a violent, aggressive, you know, maximum security, you know, you have to fucking kill people in order to get into a gang jail. Like, that's it. It's like a fucking minimum security prison.
Anyway, we're seeing a number of people being escorted out.
Yeah, hotel. Yeah.
By the FBI agents here. Not entirely clear who's who, but we do know that 2 of the targets included a husband and wife team. Husband, a psychologist, and wife, a nurse. They say ran a fraudulent hospice for many years.
That's right.
The FBI says that this hospice racked up over $7 million in fraud.
Well, I can tell you for a fact they did. Look at that house. That house is gigantic.
Payments, and they had a death rate of 2.8%, which is extraordinarily low.
Yeah.
By any metrics that the state or the federal government have, those are telltale signs of a fraudulent hospice.
I mean, this guy's a real one. He was the same one that did the other, the other video about this stuff before.
This is part of a larger operation today. The FBI has a number of cases and a number of arrests across LA.
Very a lot of background noise. I know. Sorry.
This and where we are right now is about an hour or so away from
the cluster
of hospices, including the one
from Nick Shirley,
husband and wife owned.
Man, that is insane. So you have somebody, defendants arrested this morning, were charged with stealing millions of dollars healthcare advances, got caught, and now face years in federal prison. Yeah, I mean, they need to go as hard as they possibly can on these people and then figure out who else was involved. I mean, you know what's crazy is that if Nick Shirley had never made that video, there's a good chance that a lot of these people could still be doing this right now, which is, I think, what's so insane about it. It's that the people that are doing this, there's never even, it was just getting ignored. And yeah, I'm a disabled combat vet and I can barely afford an apartment. It's pathetic. well, you need to go out and die for your country so migrants can come into the country and scam the government, right? And then have other migrants and other people that feel racial solidarity to them that enable the scams for some sort of an ethnic reason. I think that's what's happening, and it's pretty obvious. That's why it seems like overwhelmingly the people that are doing this type of fraud, this type of government low-level fraud, are, I would say, from migrant communities or from immigrant communities. I think the reason why is actually really simple. It's because they try to stick together. They try to, like, benefit each other. That's it. And all migrants, yeah. And are we actually doing something about it, or just pointing it out and then say, look at another one, then doing nothing? I mean, this is literally a FBI raid, and the person's getting pulled out and arrested right now. So, yeah, I think that's pretty bad. And I don't know really what else you can say besides that. How bad is the fraud in California? The Medi-Cal, Medicaid program budget has more than doubled by 114 billion, while enrollment has only gone up by 0.7% over the last 4 years. Oh, my God. So it went up double, and it didn't even, the amount of people on it didn't even go up by 1%. That is crazy. Oh, this is about the healthcare fraud. Thank God. Okay, here we go.
William Lajeunesse has more from Covina, California. That's just east of LA. You've been on this story for a while. What happened?
Good morning, Dana. Yeah, this is the first takedown for the new White House Fraud Task Force. They arrested 2 owners of 2 hospices here in greater Los Angeles.
Should be a lot more.
They're accused of collectively stealing about $16 million from taxpayers. And this money was intended, right, for compassionate end-of-life care for the terminally ill.
That's right.
Here's some video we shot earlier today of the FBI making those arrests of a husband and wife. He a doctor, she a nurse, co-owners of the St. Francis Palliative Care Hospice in Glendale.
It's really sad to see that. Like, my dad was on hospice care, and they still send me letters and shit. They're like, oh, yeah, we want to remind you that we're still thinking of your father and everything. And it's like, it's quite nice. So to think that people are taking advantage of that and trying to misappropriate it so they can live in mansions and stuff, it's just the pinnacle of evil. It really is. It's awful. How's anybody put up with this shit? It's ridiculous.
And what they were doing was this, admitting people who are not qualified for hospice, but billed the government as if they were. About $30,000 per patient. And when the benefits ran out, they dropped them. Here's the kicker. Nationally, 80% of adults admitted, or people admitted to hospice, die, and usually in the first few weeks. Here,
80% die? Yeah, I'm surprised it's not higher.
Almost nobody died. After 8 months, 97%.
Maybe they were just such a good hospice.
Left alive.
97% of them alive.
They've been bilking the taxpayers for over $7 million, close to $8 million, and it's all total fraudulent hospice services. They were signing up people who are not terminally ill. They were forging the documents, the medical.
See, they have to go way harder. Like, that's why I said we need an attorney general that likes the idea of going after people like this. They do, like, because that's a big issue that I have, is that a lot of people, they don't look at it and they don't take it seriously enough. Like, you have to go after the people that were signing into these documents. You have to go into their family members. You have to go into, the people that were involved around this. And you have to just, you have to absolutely, the goal of the enforcement of this should be to make it so scary for something like this to happen to you, to be investigated, that people are afraid to make a mistake. That's what they should do, ruin them. Yes, exactly. Go absolutely scorched earth on these people. That's what I would say. For the love of the game, yeah. We need to have an attorney general that wants to bring back crucifixions, and their biggest inhibitor is the 8th Amendment. That's what we need.
Records, and they were collecting taxpayer dollars.
That's what I want.
And they've been charged, and this morning they were arrested.
Here's another arrest down in Topanga Hospice. And here they were paying kickbacks to the patients, giving them $600 a month in an envelope.
See, do you remember what I told you guys? I told y'all this is what was happening. I told you for a fucking fact this is what was happening. And that's exactly it. They are all in on it. See, and again, who knew about this, right? Because now they're accomplices. Now you need to go after each of these patient families, bring up every single one of them as an accomplice on charges, and put them in jail too. seize their assets, do everything. Go as hard as you possibly can. Follow the money. Yes, exactly. Newsom allowed this. Of course he did. Absolutely.
That's because they were getting reimbursed from the feds about $6,000 a month. Now, they are also paying marketers to find seniors and take their Medicare card. They bilked the government for about $8 million, not eligible, and they were not terminally ill.
Yep.
The name of this endeavor is Project Never Say Die, because the folks who are in the nursing and the hospice facilities owned by this couple and their family don't seem to ever pass away.
So the feds are here for a reason. California was giving out thousands of lost hospice licenses to people who are unqualified, no oversight, and of course taxpayers have been paying for it ever since.
To be fair, they may have not known if it was going on, if there were X degrees of freedom away from operations. When you're paying a hospice to put your parent into, or like, some person or yourself into care, and then they're giving you money back, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Everybody knows that. We all know this. This is the big issue, is that you have some people that want to play this dishonest game. We all know what's happening. Everybody knows what's happening. So, no, you're not going to play stupid. And if you are going to play stupid, we're going to drag you through every legal process possible. And by the end of it, you're going to need to be in a hospice. That's the way I see it. That's what I want to do. I hate them, bro. I hate them. These people are parasites. I want to see it get worse. And we can only hope. Yeah, exactly. Do you think they go to California if they didn't post that video? Maybe. I don't know. And yeah, the big issue is Democrats are dirty and playing cover up for all the illegal shit they've done. Well, to be fair, this is a, I think it's overwhelmingly leftists that are taking advantage of this, because they're the ones that are bringing in the people that do these scams, and then they overlook the scams. I do think it's overwhelmingly them, but it's not exclusively them. This is a nonpartisan issue. This is, if you're scamming and you're doing this, you need to go to jail and you need to have all your stuff seized, right? That's what I think needs to happen. And send them to Iran, please, public execution. Would I want to do public executions for some of the ones that stole a lot of money? If you stole over, like, let's say $10 million. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. $10 million, $3 million. Yeah, 10 years for each million. I don't know. And so, like, that's it. It's a human's life worth of money. It is. And so, yeah. And honestly, if we did that, if we brought back public executions, I bet you'd see a lot of this stuff happening less. I would, especially if you get creative with them, right? And that's what I think we should do. I think that we need to get more comfortable with that reality. We have too many people that are too pacified by, modern society. And I think that in doing so, they've allowed themselves to become victims of ancient evils. And I think we need to stop it. We need to shut it down. Firing squad in Idaho for the pedophiles? I don't know about firing squad. I think that, I think firing squads are too humane. That's really the way I feel, especially for somebody that's like a pedophile. I think that you could come up with something that's a lot better than that. What is this? Vader Vi just got banned on Twitch? Oh, is this recent? Like, let me see how I pull this up. Yeah, I don't know if this is recent or not. Did she get banned? It looks like... No? I mean, I'm not seeing anything about this. Maybe, but I certainly don't know where it is. Who the fuck knows? So, I just give public execution idea to Tarantino. I like that. And fraudsters get crushed by the wallet of pennies. The amount they get defrauded. I like the sound of that. That's a good idea. So, thirst trap content debater viewers, goon baiting. Oh my god. And not a surprise. So are these the same clowns that they call
hospice?
Is this it? Yeah, this is the same one. No, I'm very glad to see this happen. I am. And hopefully, obviously, what is this? Buckingham Palace confirms King Charles will not issue an Easter message this year. Why? What the fuck? Wait, why? Like, I don't even get it. Like, how would this even happen? It's insane. God damn. Oh, this is another one. All right, let's watch it.
We believe half of them are fraudulent. Half of the 1,800 hospices should not be in business if we are able to identify the red flag. We believe half of them are fraudulent. Half of the 1,800
way more than half. If I were to guess on how many are fraudulent, I would guess between 70 and 80%. I would say it's somewhere between those two numbers, 70 to 80%. Cucked by Islam. I think that's what's happened too.
hospices should not be in business if we are able to identify the red flags. And that's what we're basing these numbers on. These are not random assumptions. World experts at CMS say if you've got 100% or near survival, certainly if you've got a survival over 50% for a population that's supposed to have passed in 6 months, you've got a problem. Yeah. If you're clustered in the same buildings as other crooks, if you're sharing employee numbers and license numbers, if you've got a small number of people, less than 50 members, you do that because you can hide what's really going on when they're small, because you don't have reporting obligations.
Yeah, it's like a family scam. It's like a family scam with like 2 or 3 or maybe just one family that's in on it. And that's the reason why they go under the radar.
Visa holders, there are lots of things going on in California that just are not rational, and we're going to take them out.
Well, they are rational.
That you heard about,
they want to fund the entire, like, there are so many migrants here and like immigrants here that are fucking useless. They're totally fucking useless. There's not going to be a job, a way, a resource that you're going to be able to get out of them. They are totally fucking useless. And so why is it that they're even here? Well, they're here because they're being paid to be here. Parasites? They are parasites. They're total parasites. And if it was up to me, I'd remove every single one of them, even the citizens. I'd get rid of every single one. I'd denaturalize and deport. If you came into the country in the last like 10, 20 years and you've been living off of welfare, it's time for you to go. And honestly, you should be saying thank you for doing it for so long. You should be saying thank you for ignoring me and letting me take advantage of this when I never should have had this happen. You have useless Americans too? Yeah, that's true, we do. And that's the reason why we need to get rid of all the useless foreigners. Is because we have to focus all of our efforts on taking care of our useless Americans, so we don't have the money left over to take care of the useless foreigners. You're right.
Hospices. I want to pat on the back. The entire first 4 years of really looking at this issue since 2021, when the report came out from the Auditor General here in California, the entire first 4 years, there were 4 hospices that were revoked. 4 hospices.
That's it?
7 of them were criminal charges today. So you see a dramatic and appropriate shift. There are other people involved that the U.S. Attorney's going after. Fariba Javarian, probably read about last night, was had her billing privileges revoked by CMS yesterday. She had generated $127 million of billing.
Wow.
And for some reason, although
$127 million?
Everyone knew that there was a problem there. Her 113 agencies that she worked with, 113 agencies, one doctor was working with, had built over the last 3 years $127 million.
Wow.
CMS is going to suspend payments to stop money from leaving the U.S. That's our goal.
Right.
We're going to review every single hospice in California to make sure that they're all appropriate, and we hope to do that expeditiously. We'll do it this year. And I'm going to make an announcement today, because I want to throw the gauntlet down for Governor Newsom. When asked about the hospice fraud in California, that again was in his own administration was involved in barking how bad our issue was in 2021, he responds by saying that he's been responsible for taking out 280 of these hospices. In the 10 weeks since we first were together in front of you, in the 10 weeks we have taken out 221 hospices already.
So in like a couple of weeks, they were able to do the same amount that he's done in 5 years?
221. We will surpass the governor's achievements in the first 4 years within the month, we believe.
Wow.
And so we need to get serious. And
it's almost like they didn't give a shit about it. See, this is what I was talking about managed decline. They throw people a bone where they say, oh no, we're going after them. We're doing it. See, look, we got one. And there's like 50 other ones that they didn't get.
We don't see that happening in California. The ecosystem is rotten. We've uncovered lots of other derivatives that happen when you don't take care of this fraud.
Thank you, bro. Like, that's what I want to hear. Maybe this guy actually knows what's going on. Because he said 2 things that were insanely insightful, and it makes me think that they actually have somebody competent involved with this. The ecosystem is rotten, and he's talking about derivatives. This is a web. It is a web of fraud. It's not one isolated incident. They're all connected.
The way it needs to be done. And I'll give you a good example. Your neighbors in Nevada are suffering because the fraudsters here are now going there, and they have a 7-fold increase in hospice because when people get a little
the roaches.
Chilled in California, they head there. So how are we going to do this? And all the government approaches you've heard. If you're defrauding Medicare, listen carefully. If you're defrauding Medicare, start running because we are coming for you. Don't walk, run away. The folks are on stage here and all over the country under the leadership of President Trump and Vice President Vance and his task force are not going to tolerate it. None of us can afford the luxury of being sloppy about this.
Jesus, bro, this is what I want to hear. This is exactly what I want to hear. Just stop. They're not going to, no, it's not enough for them to stop. You have to make an example out of them. And you have to do that. I'm very happy to see this. This is great. It's fucking amazing. Hopefully that's the way things go, right? I mean, I think obviously that's where things should go. Did you forget Vance's name? It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, obviously, like what he's saying is true. I'm glad he didn't, when Senator Fetterman turned out okay and he's cooking as a health department. Yeah, true, actually. Yeah, you're right about that. And yeah, new post from Pandandi 28 minutes ago. Is that true? And then, oh, here we go. There are 536 nonprofits or NGOs in California labeled as homelessness prevention or homeless assistance. They employ over 12,000 people. They handle $2 billion per year. Under Newsom, homelessness has increased by 35,000 people. So let me get this straight. They've spent $2 billion fighting homelessness, and it's gone up by 35,000 people. I read somewhere that New York City spends more money on homeless people than the average income in New York City. Per person. And it's like, at a certain point, I mean, we need to bring somebody into the government that is an absolute psycho. We need to bring somebody in that sleeps for like 3 hours a night and then wakes up and then thinks about deporting people and putting them in jail and publicly executing them. We need that. We need this yesterday. And that's it, man.